Well, well.
Welcome to Dad Crossing, a podcast about animals. Today we'll be chatting about packs, to guide or not to guide, and some community questions. With me today is Nick Undecided Metzger. How's it going, Nick?
I am doing fantastic. We are in the 10-day countdown, and I could not be more excited about that.
Yeah, 10 days for you. Haven't quite crossed that midnight threshold here, so I'm still watching the clock, waiting until I can celebrate that Mario Day and get those 10 days countdown started. Yeah, and then unfortunately today, Sean Abbott is missing. He's MIA. If you've seen him, please let us know. We would love for him to show up, but that's okay.
Stop hitting the snooze, Sean.
We're gonna move right along. I'm Dan Porter Caparello, and Sean. If Sean was here, we would have talked about his favorite Animal Crossing character, which is Walker, and Nick has his own issues with that, so we're just gonna keep going.
Yeah. So we're all taking an animal, is that right? Or an NPC, a non-playable character for Animal Crossing.
We were supposed to. Sean and I did. I don't know what you were doing.
There's just so many. It's so hard to choose. I believe I'm going to end up being one of the Dodo airline people. I wanted to be something new, Yeah. I've been tossing it around, and I think I'm going to be one of the Dodos because, well, maybe it just fits me. But
I don't think Porter has been seen in Animal Crossing games since Wild World. I have to double check on that. But
no, he was in City Folk. So
he was. Okay.
Yeah, he was the bus driver that took you to the city.
There he is.
So he's got to do something. I think he'll do something.
I mean, yeah. You know what? I'm okay. He'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
You have Dodo now. There's other things for Porter to do in other places.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just jump right into just a little bit of news that we have related to Animal Crossing before we hit some of the other things we're going to do this evening. So, Nick, why don't you take away the news segment?
Yeah, sure. So Nintendo waffles on only one backup save. So if you back in the Animal Crossing Direct, they put very fine print that it took Animal Crossing fans 5 seconds to catch on to, that said when they were talking about Animal Crossing saves, and they said, well, listen, we have a special mechanism for the save. And but then in small print, they said, yeah, this can only be done once in the lifetime of your Switch.
Right. I remember that. It was kind of a big deal. Everyone made a stink about it, rightfully so. It seemed kind of ridiculous.
For sure. And so then a day or two, I'm not entirely certain, but after 1.9 million views on YouTube, they blew away their Animal Crossing Direct video and re-uploaded it with language that basically said that got rid of the only one time and said, well, more details on this to come later. So they obviously thought about that, or maybe the communication got, screwed up and they got rid of it altogether. They didn't like that part.
Yeah.
So, I think about that.
It's weird. Like, would they, if they were going to change their minds, would they have bothered taking it down? It's almost like that was a translation issue or something. It just seems weird to me.
Yeah, I can't imagine they ran back to the boardroom and they were like, holy crud, do you know that people don't like this? Like, we didn't see that coming. We got to change this, and as those things are picked over with a fine tooth comb. So I have a really hard time believing that was something they just missed. They were like, we weren't supposed to give them that information, and we did. I don't know.
And unfortunately, Nintendo's messaging around the whole save state issue has been shaky at best. I mean, they're not being very clear with us about what it is or why, or so, I think we're all just kind of hoping and praying that a solution comes quickly at this point.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, that's exactly right. They've shot themselves in the foot. And especially, I think so many news outlets have covered up the fact that this game is everything and more that we wanted it to be, with, yes, an issue about the save. But that shadow has been long and covered up a lot of what seems to be, obviously we haven't played it yet, we're 10 days from it, but everything we see online and the direct seems like it is everything us Animal Crossing fans wanted. So it's a bummer that some of that I think got covered up in news outlets.
Yeah, it just kind of became it kind of became a blemish on what would have been pretty perfect marketing as far as I'm concerned.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So
speaking of blemishes, I don't know. I'm trying out this segue thing. It's not working for me. Just go.
Speaking of blemishes, that's right. What wasn't a blemish, Dan, was that awesome PAX display that they had. I mean, seriously, if somebody would have said that was going to be there 6 months ago, I probably would have found a way to get myself to Boston. I mean, I think it's Boston. I hope that was right for that. Yeah, hey, look at that. Every once in a while, I score. So the Tom Nook and the whole thing. Did you get to see the pictures of one of our Discord peeps, Crazy Greek Dre, hanging out with Tom Nook? That was so awesome.
Yeah,
I was a little bit jealous.
And he actually he left a message on the Nintendo Dads podcast from last week, and he was just talking about his experience at PAX a little bit. And he didn't say anything that we didn't already know or anything groundbreaking, but it just got me more excited to know that somebody who has no experience with Animal Crossing played it for 20 minutes and was just like, all right, yeah, I'm in. Like, this is great. You know? Mm-hmm. So
yeah. I thought it's so funny because, right, you think about E3, was it last year? Yeah, E3 last year. Everybody was like, about this time actually last year, people were like, well, E3, Nintendo's going to totally just deck out their whole booth and it's going to look like Animal Crossing. And we were like, well, you had the wrong event, but the right idea.
Right, exactly. Well, we got the delay. It was supposed to come out in October, November of last year, and they delayed it. Right. I'm glad they did because there were too many games in that window.
It's hard for me to say I'm glad, but I totally see. Yeah, I wasn't hurting for games to play. Totally agree. But
they could have delayed Pokemon and I would have been okay with it. But that's neither here nor there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So no, but if you listen, I mean, I can't do it justice with just some words here. So if you have not seen Nintendo's PAX display, go online. There's a ton of videos. There's videos on our Twitter at NDadCrossing, and you will see some awesome stuff about what Nintendo did to really just bring that whole environment to life. I thought it was awesome. Wish I could have been there. Wish I could have got my hands on one of those awesome Isabelle pins too. So lots of jealousy here.
They're going on eBay for about $30, so it's not totally out of the realm of possibility for you there, Nick.
It's true. That's true. But you do not want to know the amount of money I've dropped on this game already.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, between the console and the game itself, you're scratching $400. You're knocking on $400 door already.
That is true. I got 2 copies of the game, so I have surpassed the $400. So
congratulations.
Maybe, sure. Why not? We'll go there.
Yeah. I mean, I spent $25 on a 19-year-old game, so who am I to judge?
There's no judgment here no matter what. Yeah, so
plus a memory card, so
for sure.
Speaking of memories, god dang it.
Speaking of memories, how much memory do you want
it's
island's
late.
Name?
It's late. I had no caffeine since like this morning. We're just trying to have some fun here, okay?
Amen. No, I totally agree
with this.
Speaking of undecided, there you go. Speaking of going back to the beginning, as I am undecided, do you have a decision on your Animal Crossing island name now that we know it can be 10 characters?
Man, it's so difficult. Like, I'm the kind of person where I don't want to put too much forethought into something. I kind of just want to like get there and like however I feel, I'm just going to run in that direction. My wife is the opposite, right? She named all of our children months before they were born. She plans all of our vacations and everything out. And I'm more just like, hey, let's just go there and see what happens. It just, I don't recommend that for dates.
Yeah, I bet not.
Put that out here. Some relationship advice here on Dad Crossing. Don't do that. Plan your dates. But I say all that to say, even if I make a decision right now and say I'm going to call it Turboland, I 100% will change it between now and then, which is also why I will never get a tattoo. But that's neither here nor there.
There's a lot of good advice going out here. I like it.
Yeah. So this has become advice crossing.
So I don't have a name either. I have no idea. It is cool that they've upped it to 10. So for those of you who don't know, in previous Animal Crossings, it was 8 characters. That's all you could do for your name. Not like 2 more characters is mind-blowing, but, we'll take what we can get, and it's appreciated. Yeah. And I, too, have no idea. I'm kind of with you on this. Like, I want to put thought into this, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to name it. And especially if I stream, the pressure is a little bit more, to have a name that's not completely and utterly ridiculous. Which
you should poll your chat. That's what you should do.
That's a really good idea. You might be the only one there. Show up.
It is guaranteed going to be named something ridiculous if you pull your chat.
Yeah, I probably won't be able to even put it in the in the machine.
They'll be like, "That's inappropriate. Please choose another name."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Although I was able to name my GameCube Animal Crossing town that I just started, Poopland. So
there you go.
I was going to go Poopsville. But that's 9 characters, and that wouldn't have fit, so I had to go Poopland. Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you do that because you're in new baby mode, and you're in Poopland at the moment?
I didn't think about it at the time, Nick, but you're very insightful. That's probably what happened. It was just the first thing. I was just like, I'm just gonna go with this, whatever. And
5 diapers down today. Poopland sounds good.
Every time I turn my copy of Animal Crossing on now, I have a good laugh about it, and it's a good time. So, what I am more decisive about is the layout of my town. And there's actually a web app you can go to that will help you kind of design what you want your island to look like once you unlock terraforming. And people have come up with all kinds of crazy maps for their island and stuff. If you search for it online, you can find it. There's some really cool ideas out there. There are people who want to make little islands in like a lake, and put things on the islands with bridges connecting them. I saw some people doing some like designs, so your map is a design, like a whatever. So
it's like pixel art, right? I mean, basically.
Right. Yeah, kind of. That actually has me thinking. That one's got me thinking more so than the name of my town.
Sure.
What am I going to do with all this power that they're giving me now?
I am going to write Dad Crossing in rivers. That's what I'm going to do.
You better.
See if I can actually make that happen. No, actually, so I did go on that web app. Unfortunately, I was on my phone. It is not formatted well for phones. So just an FYI. And I kept having to scroll in. I was putting trees. Then I put a row of trees over the entire island with my thumb. So then I gave up. And I didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to go back in on my laptop, or maybe it might even work better on the iPad. I don't know. So I didn't have a chance to go again, but I did actually want to do that for our Twitter feed, to just write Dad Crossing in lakes, because I think that would be fun. I'd give it a shot.
Dude, you should totally do that in the app. Probably not in real life, because that feels really tedious and unnecessary.
Probably, but I might try it if I get deep enough.
What is Animal Crossing if not tedious and unnecessary? I mean, let's be honest.
There is some truth to that. Have you seen the character creator, Dan? Have you seen what they've unveiled on the character creator?
I saw a paper bag on somebody's head.
It's true. Well, wait. Were you watching the episode where Tim gave his predictions, or the character creator?
No, I didn't. I don't think I watched either of those.
Oh, well, you missed it. You totally. I'm sorry. Anyways, the character creator looks really awesome, and it looks a lot like when you'd make a me. For some reason, it just left my mind. It doesn't have
features and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much. So I want to, backstep that a little bit. It doesn't have as much of that. But when I saw it, they put some real thought into it. And I would absolutely love to, if they would pull that character out and let you use it like as avatars and stuff on your for your profile pics.
Yeah, because you can do that. You can do that with a me.
Yeah,
so that would be cool to have your Animal Crossing avatar.
Yes. So I would love to see that. And I have enjoyed all the stuff. And they actually have a pen creator mode, kind of like back in the day where Blanca would have you write on her face. Remember that? You'd have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the train, you'd see her every once in a while. And so they have a pen creator mode in there too, where you can kind of, I guess, pixel art your face. I haven't seen entirely what it'll look like. I'll probably stay away from that because I'm not super artistic.
I bet some people are going to come up with some real cool stuff though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, that really is what I like to see because I'm not the one with the talent, but I do like to see what other people can create.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. It's character creators are the kind of thing I spend way too much time on.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. Well, Nick, why don't we jump into some of these segment questions? Yeah, let's do it. So the first thing we're going to chat about is the strategy guide for Animal Crossing went on major sale on Amazon. I think it was down to like $17, $18. And I'm not normally one to buy strategy guides because the internet is my strategy guide. But this one's got me a little tempted, a little bit. And I'm also normally not the kind of person that like wants to know how to do everything. I kind of want to just go in and experience a game. And if I get stuck on a puzzle or something, then I'll look it up, especially in like a Zelda or something like that. But Animal Crossing, I don't feel like it's the kind of game that I personally would buy a guide for. If you like really want to get a certain set of furniture or a certain set of clothing, I can totally see that being a thing. Like, here's how to get that or this, or, you know, I'm sure there'll be some hacks there that you can pull off. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what this is for. Do you know?
Well, so you gotta, do you want to be the guy that wants to play year after year and try to get all the bugs, right? I mean, because that's really like one of the things I think that the strategy guide helps you with, right? Because there's always that fish that comes out on Friday nights when it rains in the one spot, and you're gonna miss them, and then you're gonna have to wait an entire year to do it again,
right?
So there is that, especially for those completionists and stuff that like to get the fish and the bugs and the stuff like that. I didn't use a guide. I'm with you. I don't see a ton of reason for a guide because, apparently everybody else bought the guide because it was the number one Amazon. I can't remember if it was number one altogether for a week or so, or if it was just in the video game category. I'm not entirely certain.
Oh, wow.
But it topped the charts in Amazon for a while.
Yeah. So
apparently everybody else has it. So all I have to do is go online to the wiki pages or whatever if I'm really stuck, and I'm sure that they will tell me. So I will probably just glean their information and probably not get it. I'd like to go in blind and just do absolutely nothing, but we have chosen to do this Animal Crossing cast, so that's not likely to happen that I can just stay blind through the entire thing, you know? So you kind of got to give up the goat on that from the beginning.
Yeah, you do. And I also, Animal Crossing also, there's no like spoilers in Animal Crossing, right? It just kind of, you live life and you build your house or whatever. So I'm not super worried about that. It's not a Zelda or like The Witcher where I don't want spoilers. So, if I need to look something up or find something, I'm totally open to that. So it just kind of seemed as that's the thing, right? Like, I'm open to it, but I'm not going to go seek it out unless it's the kind of thing that I like want to pursue, I'm not usually a completionist. I'm just here to have a good time, Nick.
Yeah, no, that's 100% the truth.
Yeah.
Although I will say I am a completionist when it comes to bugs and fish. Like, I like to get them all. I really do.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In the population growing.
You're going to have a rad museum.
I am. I'm very excited about that. In population growing and city folk, I didn't get all the paintings, but I got all the fish and bugs. And I don't remember. I think in population growing, I got all the bones stuff, but But yeah, so I am a completionist when it comes to that kind of stuff. Not when it comes to furniture and all that jazz. I don't really get into having all the different furniture sets, but I like to get myself the fish in the bugs.
I think I actually care more about getting a matching furniture set and making my house look cool than I do about the museum. Although that might change with New Horizons. We'll see. So next up, we're going to chat about Nintendo is quoted with saying, "We will offer free updates throughout the year." Now, there was also something early on where they had in-game purchases listed on the eShop, and then they took it down, and then they brought it back. So what kinds of updates would you want to see, and would you be willing to pay for it? That's the big question.
Yeah, so when they said we will offer free updates throughout the year, they specifically showed the different holidays to show that Easter and all that stuff is going to be an update and not, it seems like, not baked into the game. I don't want to say definitely not, but it sure seems that way. But the thing is, they specifically said we will offer free updates throughout the year. So rolling into next year, are you going to have to pay for holidays?
That's an interesting question. I am actually of the opinion that holidays are baked in, and I'll tell you why. It's because not everybody has internet. There is a certain subset of the population that will do 0 of Animal Crossing online. So there needs to be something in game for them to do on Christmas, Easter, Halloween, New Year's. You know, they may not get to do like some of the activities that we get to do online. But there will, I'm of the opinion that there will be something. Nintendo's not ready to go full online and lock other people out of content because of it. They're way too much about accessibility for that.
That's a really good point, Dan. I hadn't actually thought about that, quite frankly. So my only pushback to that would be they do lock, but you have Nintendo Online. So that, I guess, is not a really great argument. If you're going to buy Nintendo Online, that means you have Nintendo Online. I was going to say you have to be on every 7 days to get the NES games, but that's not a great argument because if you're going to buy Nintendo Online, you're going to have the internet, right? I agree with you.
I see what you're saying there. If I go to a Starbucks and download an update that, a few days before, maybe I will get to do whatever. I don't know. It's all kind of up in the air right now, right? We don't even know what this means. As far as paid DLC for Animal Crossing goes, the kinds of things that I would be into would be like I would want like a Link costume with like a sword, and like instead of an axe, you have a sword. You have the Master Sword. I'd be into that. I'd buy that costume, or those kinds of things, like those kinds of cosmetic things that just kind of like make you feel cool and I can't even imagine what like an expansion to Animal Crossing would look like, because it's all about building and building and building, and so if that's not just baked in, then that's not Animal Crossing,
It's true. So how would you feel if in 2 years or a year, I don't know, 2 years is pretty far out, but it's not pretty far out for Animal Crossing, like the community that plays it, that's still playing New Leaf to this day. How would you feel like in a year or 2 year if they dropped 10 more fish, 10 more bugs, 10 more fossils, blah, blah, blah? For, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even want to put a price on it. I don't know. But for paid DLC.
I personally would not care about that as much.
Okay.
You're saying this is paid DLC?
Yeah, if it was paid. Yeah, if you had to pay for it.
I don't know. Would you be into that?
Well, the price point would be a big deal, right? I mean, I'm not going to pay like $30 for that, but
like
I'd pay a few bucks for it.
That kind of update I can see being free because it's essentially just more stuff to do that didn't really cost them anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and I totally get that, and that's what they're saying for the rest of this year. And the updates they're talking about, I really do believe are just holiday updates. And you're probably right. They're probably just adding on top. Maybe you get something special if you update, if you download this update.
right?
But the fact that they say free throughout this year makes me think that they have plans for this game in the future that are not free. That's just
okay. Yeah. Well, and the whole like paid content on the eShop debacle makes me wonder about that too.
Mm-hmm.
I would put money on it being some kind of Nintendo related cosmetic, like
you're probably right.
You get an Inkling costume and your net is now a roller, like you like those kinds of things. It changes the way that the game looks and works for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can show it off, but functionally it's just cosmetic. I think that's the safe route for Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't know what like an expansion pack, like I'm thinking about Pokemon, right? Like there's like new wild areas coming in the new expansion pass for Pokemon, and like that makes sense for that series. I can't even put my two brain cells together to think of something that would work in Animal Crossing besides cosmetics.
Well, you could have the dodos open up new areas or something. I don't know. There are things they could do, and the two reasons you said already are a good reason to think that they'll do something. And then also, Nintendo's president did say that he was interested in leaning into DLC to add to revenue for existing games.
Sure.
So I think with all that, I think there will be paid DLC in some form. I'm with you. I don't know what it's going to look like. I like your idea of like Link costumes or whatever. What do you think the Animal Crossing community? Because I kind of feel like the Animal Crossing community is going to cringe at that. Like if you can, but I guess there's Nintendo items in there now in some form.
Yeah, and I mean they're not. How much is a costume in Smash Brothers? It's like 75 cents or something, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Something like that. So that's almost inconsequential. The only other, I guess, just thinking about it, what would be really cool is to be able to somehow visit your New Leaf Island in New Horizons, and like cross play between those two somehow. I don't know. There's so much so up in the air. And then I'm sure Nintendo's going to do a very Nintendo thing and do something that nobody ever thought of.
Yes.
And we're going to love it or hate it because that's Nintendo.
100%. You are right about that. All this stuff is going to be completely and utterly wrong. And then all of a sudden, what's really going to be wrong is that a Sean Abbott appears out of nowhere in your island.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, Sean. It's good to have
Daylight
you.
Saving Times catches everybody out, as is almost a month behind you guys. So, my apologies.
Yeah, I blame Nick.
That's a good. So PSA for anybody listening. America and the UK are not on the same daylight savings train, apparently. So hey, the wonders of podcasting with people all around the world, I suppose.
Hey, at least none of us live in Indiana.
Well, that's true.
They're all jacked up.
That's true. Although I am just it's a few minutes from the border, but sure, that's fair enough.
Well, yeah. Just don't cross over there because then all bets are off. So, speaking of time travelers.
Yes.
Here's a question for you guys. Did you do any time traveling in any past Animal Crossing games? And do you think we'll be able to time travel in New Horizons?
No.
It's a big question.
A very quick answer. I've never really needed to time travel just yet. I'm assuming that'll be so you can always skip a day if you need an item.
I time traveled in City Folk because I could never. there was always an event going on that I had a family thing, and I did not want to miss it. So I would time travel back or time travel ahead to get to what I needed to get to do the thing. So that was the only time that I time traveled. I tried to stay away from it as much as I could.
So
what about you, Dan? Did you time travel ever?
Oh, totally. I mean, all over the place. What I'm looking for in the Switch settings is a way to change the clock because it's all connected to the internet now. And I don't see it. Oh, date and time. Here we go. Yeah. Synchronized via internet off, and you can change it. Okay. So, I mean, it is possible that the game will be able to tell that you're tampering with the clock and get mad at you. That may be where Mr. Rossetti comes in. Haven't seen him yet.
So yeah, that's a possibility. We know I don't want to say we know because I don't think we know, but I think we're pretty sure he's going to be part of the rescue team when you get stuck. We're pretty sure about that.
Yeah. But it's also
he could be both of those things.
Sure. It's also possible that the game has its own clock. That you can't change. We're not really. There's no way to know for sure right now. But the real question is, will you be changing your clock in the Switch version if you're able to?
Yes. Not all the time. I really don't want to do it all the time. It's not my thing. I like to stay with the normal date and time. But like when Toy Day comes around, if they have events that are single day. Like they did in City Folk and Population Growing. You had to be there.
They probably will, yeah.
They probably will. Then if I can, I will. Because more than likely, if it's Toy Day on Christmas, I'm not going to be able to be there. Like my wife will have my hide. I'm like, 1 second, honey. I got to spend the next 5 hours getting all the furniture. That's never going to happen. I have a family. And there's no way that I could do that. So if I can time travel, I will time travel to get the stuff.
Yeah, putting it that way, I'd definitely be doing exactly the same if it's possible. It was going to be one of my questions about events and how often are they and things like that. So yeah, I think I'd probably do it as well for the exact same reason as Nick. If an event falls on like Christmas Day or over New Year, that sort of thing, I'm definitely not going to be able to sit and give the time it needs to get all the furniture for that event. So it'll be oh, look, I'm doing Christmas Day all over again.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, and not necessarily for the day events, but mostly for like most of my gaming happens after everybody's in bed. So if I want to experience a daytime in Animal Crossing, I'm probably going to have to reverse my clock permanently. Plus, yeah, I messed my clock. Yeah, exactly. I messed my clock up real bad in New Leaf because all of the expensive beetles show up on the island at like 3 a.m. I'm not awake at 3 a.m. So my clock kept getting pushed. I would go to tomorrow's 3 a.m., then next week's 3 a.m., because the game kept track of when you were at the island. So, my clock was all jacked up in New Leaf. I don't want to do that. It's like not my goal. Like you said, Nick, it's not my goal to mess with the clock too much, but if it's going to hinder my experience playing the game, having to stick to its internal clock, then yeah, I'll mess with it a little bit.
Going back to the holidays, I would like to see them change that in this one, actually, and do more of like what they do at Pocket Camp. I don't know if that's something, I mean, there's not a lot that I liked about that game out of all of the Animal Crossing, IP or games. But one thing I did like is your holiday would be like a 2 to 3 week period time. Like if it's Bunny Day, then Bunny would be there not just for an 8-hour period of time, but for like you had 2 weeks to collect everything that you needed to collect. If they would be more realistic in time and give us that, I actually would really like that. I'd be down.
Then
I probably would never move the clock.
just
Right.
an event. So, yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and moving the clock in Pocket Camp isn't a thing because the
yeah,
app
you're
is
going to
sort
be
of
connected
doing
locally as well,
everything
aren't you, for
around
Pocket
you.
Camp, I believe.
Yeah.
right.
Mhm. For sure. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's not, but I mean, I played it for like a year and a half and before I got burnt out, and I never had to because I could always put the time in that I needed. They always gave me ample time to collect the furniture I needed to collect.
Great. Well, those are some good thoughts. And let's see here. So let's jump into this one more segment question, and then we will see. Sean, do you want to do Abbott Asks today? Do you have some questions?
Yeah, I can do.
Awesome.
I've got my juror list of things.
Well, here's our last question before we do that. And it is, what is the first thing you want to accomplish when you fire up New Horizons? Anybody
Choice
jump
paralysis.
in? Yeah. Decision paralysis.
Fishing. I want a fishing pole.
Yeah.
I want a fishing pole. That's one of my favorite things to do. I could fish forever. I don't care. I don't know why. It's dumb. Don't even ask me. But I love to fish in Animal Crossing. So I want a fishing pole.
Yeah. Fishing is incredibly frustrating for me in Animal Crossing.
Really?
I don't know why. Just the whole timing thing gets me weirded out. But I think the first thing I want to do is like get some villagers on my island, meet the villagers, do some villager chores, because I always found the most interesting thing about the game was what my reward was for helping them out, piece of furniture, piece of clothing, maybe some bells, whatever. I just found that more interesting than hunting for fish and bugs. So that's probably what I'll focus on for the majority of my first playthrough, my first time.
See, we are totally different because I find that frustrating. Sorry, Sean, go ahead. My bad.
For me, probably I want to do the challenges. I think that's going to be my thing every time I jump in is what's the Nook Miles challenges for that day. And I'll probably hit them hard very quickly.
Try to pay off that trip.
Yeah. Just because the ability to start manipulating the layout of the island, because what I'm finding on New Leaf is I wish I'd have looked at where things were before I actually started, because I spend most of my time running between my own home, which is at the bottom of my island, and the recycle, which is at the top of the island. So I spend a lot of time sprinting, scaring bugs and fish off where I could be taking my time to catch things and sell them that way.
I think at some point you can move your home in New Leaf, if I remember correctly. Well, Sean, why don't we jump right into Abbott Asks since you've got the mic right now. Let's just jump right into it.
Okay. Well, my first question was going to be the other day I had, is it Festivale with the giant bird who wanted all the different coloured feathers. My question was going to be, are they kind of recurring events? Is there different events to look out for in New Leaf? And will it be the same in New Horizon? But that kind of answered my question our last segment that we just spoke about there. My next one is Pitfall Seeds.
On the topic of, I'm going to just pause for a second. On the topic of festivals, I'm kind of hoping that there are more of them more frequently. There's just, it's always nice to be surprised by there's being some party happening in town, and I know that this Animal Crossing, you kind of start out in a wilderness, so I don't know that it'll kick off with any parties really, but hopefully once things get established on your island, maybe you can make your own events. That'd be cool.
That would. There was Nintendo gave a streamer, sorry, I don't remember who, 10 minutes with the game, and he went to the bulletin board and saw that if all holds true, there's a fishing event April 5th.
Hey,
so So I don't know if I don't know if that's going to stick true with once the game's out. But on his island, when he was playing around, he went to there and saw that April 5th was a fishing event. So wait and see.
Nice.
That's a nice leak.
Yeah, right.
So what else you got for us, Sean?
My next question is pitfall seeds. What is their purpose, and are we likely to see them in New Horizons?
I don't know. I don't know. You can push animals. You could push villagers into them if you want to piss them off. But that also doesn't serve a purpose. They just get mad at you. If you want somebody to leave your town, that's a real good way to get there.
I thought pitfall seeds were awesome. You just put them around and you try to get people to fall into them. I think that's the whole goal. Me and my roommate played population growing. It was a thing we did. And I would always try to place him where I know he would be. He liked to walk the beach to get the seeds and all that stuff, or to get the seashells and catch fish. So I'd always put a couple there for him. So I think they were just a fun part of the game, and I hope they're back for New Horizons.
That's a good friend.
So basically, Nintendo gave you the opportunity to really annoy everybody in your village just for fun.
Yeah, pretty much. Sounds like it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Extra carrying space, because that's the bit that's frustrating me at the moment. Is can you not buy a bag from the Able sisters? Are they not equipped to make you a rucksack?
No, I don't think that's a thing in New Leaf. I don't remember it. I do sort of remember seeing at some point in some New Horizons trailer that you had multiple layers of 3x8 grids. So it seems like they're giving you more storage in New Horizons. Man, I wish I could remember where I saw that. But
yeah, because that's it. The premise of it all is basically a very calm survival-esque game,
right?
Where you're trying to make money, you're crafting. Blah, blah, blah. So for me, being able to carry more would be the first thing that I'd want to do, is craft some form of rucksack that you can use that enables you to carry more items.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I feel your pain there.
Yeah, so, that's where the wanting to move the house comes in, because I spend a lot of time gathering everything, run out of space, stick it in some drawers that I've got in the home on New Leaf, and then spend the rest of my time running between selling things or donating fossils.
Yeah.
So I saw on Twitter a thing that somebody had taken 3 pictures and pasted them like next to each other, put them next to each other. So we have 3 different versions, and you're exactly right, Dan. Just different. I think they've just got them from different people playing, because so many people have played now. There's a lot of footage out there since
right.
Where there's just like the guy has one. I think it is a 1x8 or 10, something like that, like a little rainbow thing, and then the next guy had 2, and then the guy after that had 3. And also in this one, the only thing I believe you could stack, at least in City Folk, the only thing you could stack was paper products. In this one, you can stack like wood and everything. You don't need to. If you collect 3 or 4 things of wood, they'll stack on top of each other in one slot instead of filling your entire storage with wood.
Yeah, I can do that with cherries and like fruits and stuff like that on New Leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe that methodology is deepened in New Horizons.
Yeah. And most of my questions so far are based on: do you think we're going to see this? Because at the moment, it's my biggest frustration with the game. So,
yeah, rest assured, I feel like they've addressed a lot of the frustrations with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as what we've seen so far.
And my last question, and I don't know if I'm going to say this right, is a gyroid. You know, the little tree stump guys.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's their purpose? Or are they just, again, for selling and displaying?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows why the humble gyroid does what he does.
So selling, displaying, and the museum, right? Didn't they have a spot in the museum?
Not in GameCube.
No?
Not in New Leaf.
Why did I think they did? Huh. Okay. So then, yeah, maybe I was just trying to collect them all. Maybe that's what I was doing. Anyways.
I filled my basement with gyroids, and it was a veritable orchestra.
Yeah, but it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could put them outside your home, right?
Not
I feel like that was a thing in City Folk. Maybe I just put them. Yeah, you could. I know you could in City Folk. I remember them being there.
As the series went on, they let you have more and more freedom outside your home.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. But other than that, I think that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
Make you some music.
They're weird. That's why they exist.
They are very well. The only one that's on my island at the moment is taking bells off me for a bridge. So,
yeah.
And being the mayor of that town, I'm currently the only person that's contributing. I think everybody else is a little bit thrifty. keep being called a bell hoarder.
Yeah. Are you going to be the second billionaire in the world?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. So we have one community question to go over this evening or morning, depending on where you are in the world. And it's from True in the Nintendo Dad's Discord. He wants us to, I'll just read what he said. He says, I'd love to hear a discussion on tips for newcomers. And if you think getting New Horizons at launch will be good for anyone just starting with the series. Sean, why don't you start with this one, answering this one, because you're the newest here and you've been with New Leaf for a little bit. What do you think about Animal Crossing for newcomers?
I'm enjoying it. It's a game that the reason why I never picked it up in the past is I think I was too busy doing the whole Call of Duty hype train, first person shooters, and like other platforming games. So Animal Crossing didn't really appeal to me because there wasn't the action side of it. But now I'm a little bit older. I'm enjoying the calm side of things, and the music's really good, and just I'm enjoying it. So as a newcomer, I think it doesn't matter if you were to pick it up on day one or give it a week or give it a month. Even if you wanted to just see what it's like on somebody else's Switch before you play it, I think picking it up is probably going to be one of the things you're going to want to do if you want to get into the series. Obviously, it's not one you can just drop in and out of. Once you are playing it, it does suck you in and does take up at least half an hour of your day every day.
Yeah, definitely. And I always say this about Animal Crossing is that it's more than the sum of its parts. Trying to explain Animal Crossing to somebody is futile because it's like, well, you fish and you go into debt and you decorate your house and there's a museum and then you catch bugs and you do favors for people. It just sounds so mundane and stupid. But
basically, you play a 30-year-old character.
Yeah, exactly. You're basically playing yourself, except you're a different, whatever. But it is just the atmosphere of it. And at the time it came out on the GameCube, you just kind of had this freedom. There wasn't a lot of games that kind of just like threw you into the world and was like, just kind of do whatever you want, and so it gave you a goal and it gave you something to build. And it's the same reason why people like Minecraft. They want to create something custom. They want to express themselves, and they don't want to be hindered by like rules or like, maybe, and also there's no combat. It's a great, great game for young players, for beginner gamers, for people who, might get intimidated by online play. I think that it's great for anyone. You just kind of have to go into it ready for sort of this Zen garden type of experience and not look to min-max your way to the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say you definitely want to just start. If you got to switch, start with New Horizons. Like there's no reason to play anything prior to this. They've built on each other. As Dan said, the GameCube one population growing was amazing because it seemed like you had all this freedom. Now, looking at population growing, you're like, there's not really all that much freedom now that we've seen games that have expanded on that. But now what has Nintendo done? They've come out with New Horizons and they've brought out the terraforming that so many people see in other games. So they've continued to grow on them, and there really is, there's not really much of a story back there or anything that you're missing. So just jump into the new one, and you'll enjoy it. Advice for newcomers for me would be to go do, once you're free, like they'll lock you in to do certain things like in an intro tutorial period. I'm sure. In fact, we know they will. We've seen it where time kind of stands still for a period of time while they kind of give you a tutorial of the island. Right. After that, go do what you want to do. Like, don't feel like you have to go pay off the debt. Don't feel like you have to talk to villagers. Go have fun. Like, do whatever makes you happy. Like, that's what Animal Crossing is all about. Whatever makes you happy, go do it. Don't feel like you got to follow one path or another. If somebody's like, you can do this, go get a bug here to pay off your debt. If that's not what you want to do, don't do it. Do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, totally. I totally echo what you're saying, Nick. The whole point of Animal Crossing is to find what you love and do it. If you want to be a completionist and finish your museum, man, go for it. You want to decorate your house? Go buy some furniture. You want to terraform? Go do the thing. Mm-hmm. It's the world is your oyster.
Yeah, it's fantastic. There are people who just spend hours doing the patterns, and they're amazing at it. Like, some of the patterns that people have done are phenomenal, and that's their thing. Like, that's what they love to do.
I can't wait to see your Dad Crossing logo, Nick.
Oh, no, that's Sean. That was Sean. That was going to be Sean that did
that. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have a contest. We'll see which of the three of us can make the best one.
I've been working on it, and it's just getting the lettering right. There's not enough to get the tie and the top of the jumper to look right, and I almost had it the other day, and then the battery died. And Mr. Day even paid a visit. I was gutted. That cost me a bit.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah. Well, when you get that QR code, send it along because we're looking forward to it. I
shall.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have on the docket for today, guys. Anybody else want to close out with anything?
I'll apologize for not researching daylight savings. I've been thinking about getting on, and actually, because I actually enjoy doing this quite a lot. It's like, what is there anything that could throw a spanner in the works? My little one's not being too clever with sleep at the moment, so he's been waking up a lot, and I'm thinking, please have a good night's sleep. Last night, to this point now, we put him to bed. He was a monkey at bedtime, but he hasn't woken up yet. So I was like, yes, at least I won't be really tired and sleeping. And I slept in because of daylight savings.
Because you didn't really sleep in, man. It's not on you. It's it's the hiccups of doing this kind of stuff.
We started an hour early. You got really. So
my alarm went off, and I just saw the message from Nick on Discord. Just Sean. I was like,
yeah, so, I'm totally with you.
It's questioning if I set my alarm for the right time.
Yeah. Our newborn had a real tough time going to bed tonight. And I was like, oh man, it was like 9:30 and he wasn't going to sleep. And I was like, am I going to miss podcast tonight? Because his baby has to go to bed. And he's still asleep. We made it all the way through.
Hey, this is called Dad Crossing for a reason, right? We have kids, FYI. We didn't just call it that for no reason.
Sure is. I will say, on that note, Nick, my 4-year-old loves watching me play Animal Crossing. He loves it. He loves being like, go over there. Oh, look, a bug. Get that thing. Shake that tree. Get those fruits. He's like bossing me around, telling me what to do. And I'm like, all right, I'm not giving you a wave bird, so I'm going to play, but
My wife sent me some really cute videos the other day. Trying to potty train my little boy, and he picked up the DS because it was on the sofa. I was at work, and he sat there in literally just a t-shirt and socks, playing on the DS, making the character run around, and he's constantly just going, "I'm playing my game. I'm playing my game. Yay!" That's as close as he's got to play it, because he's not quite understanding things yet like that. So
yeah, man, even my 4-year-old has trouble with the whole control thing. He got through Super Mario Brothers level 1-1 by himself. That's his big accomplishment lately.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to play with Noah. Animal Crossing. He's 6.
How old's Noah?
He's 6. Noah's 6. Yeah. So I'm very excited. He'll have his own little guy, and he can run around. He played Pocket Camp with me, and he thought that was fun. So I never really brought him down here to play City Folk. So I just thought, by the time I thought about doing it, I thought I'll just wait. I'll let him get the full New Horizons experience and just let him do that. So I'm excited to break that out with him. But he better not screw up my town.
Yeah, I don't think he's old enough to like be conniving enough to know how to do that. He's just going to goof around.
Yeah, it's going to be the curiosity of, can I do this? Not, I want to do this.
Exactly. All right, Nick. Well, unless you guys have anything else, why don't you send us out?
Yeah, so we want to first say thank you guys for watching or listening to us. Dad Crossing is a part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can find new Nintendo Dads content wherever podcasts are found. If you have questions or comments, you can reach out to us on Twitter at ndadcrossing or dadcrossing@gmail.com. We want to give the Nintendo Dads a big thanks for making this craziness happen. And we also want to say that Dan has been streaming. I want to give a shout out to him. Dan's been streaming Population Growing on his site. We have a YouTube channel that's going to be coming real soon. So I'm really excited for that. And Dan and I, and maybe even Sean's going to jump in there and start streaming some New Horizons when that drops. So we're excited about that. But for Dan Caparello, Sean Abbott, and myself, Nick Metzger, hope your village is sunny and your villagers are happy. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.